Jagex recently made some silent changes to this minigame that may just encourage you to give it a shot once more. Hi there, I'm BAOIM, and welcome to my guide to Trouble Brewing, a minigame that too many have neglected in the recent years in old school. Today, I'll be talking you through the game's mechanics, strategies, and rewards that you can earn. And I'll be showing you why this game isn't as dead of content as you may think. Trouble Brewing can be accessed on the Isle of Mosle Harmless upon completion of the Cabin Fever quest. The rewards from this minigame range from some specialty clothing with bonus stats, to flags with some interesting benefits, and the fastest and most efficient method of medium clues in the game, all of which I'll detail later in this video. Before heading to the island, be sure to bring your best food, as this is a dangerous minigame, and you will be at risk of losing your items and hardcore status if you're playing as such. The bank chest on the island can be used in case you've forgotten to bring any food. Once there, you'll be speaking to one of three team leaders, one for blue, another for not blue, and a third that we won't be paying any mind to. Whichever you speak to, be sure to speak to the blue team leader, as the game does favor the blue side as of the most recent game update. Weight-reducing clothing has no effect on the island due to an invisible debuff called the Pirate's Curse. Players are locked into having plus 12 kilograms of weight at all times. You can play with this few as one other, but it is recommended that you find at least 4 to reach peak efficiency. In order to have your Mauritania Achievement Diary task marked as completed, you will need the aforementioned 5-player minimum in-game. Each game can last anywhere from 6 to 9 minutes, with a small, quote, snack break in between each to fight off the, quote, scurvy effect that can be applied to you while playing. Don't worry if you forget your food here, as there are plenty of oranges scattered around the island for your consumption. If any of the others didn't make it into the lobby with you, they can still be applied the scurvy debuff. So make sure they are paying attention. If they wait in the blue team waiting area, as they should always be, they will be teleported in to join you after a few minutes. If you're having trouble finding other players, World 337 is the dedicated Trouble Brewing homeworld, where you'll have no problem finding a team. Upon starting the minigame, you'll be greeted with this interface in the corner of your screen. This can mostly be ignored, as with the most recent update, many of these mechanics have been rendered obsolete. The only number you need to pay attention to is the timer at the bottom, since in order to maximize your points earned, you'll have to complete tasks at specific times. Next, you'll notice 3 boilers that you have to supply logs to add flavor to your brew. I guess that's why they call it a logger. For optimal points, all you will be needing is a supply of logs. The upstairs is not relevant to your point total. Some guides may tell you that gathering flowers to color water is the most important part of the game, but with this recent change that Jagex has made, that system is basically autonomous. If no one on your team collects flowers, the game will produce the colored water on its own. The game in its current state should be chopping jungle trees, adding logs to your boilers, and using a tinderbox to light them. Be sure to add them within the first 10 game ticks of the timer changing over, as the game understands this to be the optimal brewing time. With that optimal strategy in mind, you should utilize the Sabotage mechanic as much as possible, wherein you go to the opposing team's trees with a torch and prevent them from gathering logs, ideally around that 10 game tick timing, so as to ruin their optimization. If your team happens to be the recipient of a Sabotage, don't worry, as after 1 minute, the game auto-repairs the most recently burnt equipment, as a way of balancing the game for smaller teams. If your team has done everything optimally, at the end of the game, you can expect a reward of around 100 firemaking experience per log burnt, and maximum 1,000 pieces of 8, as the rate is applied as such. At peak efficiency, you can expect to be earning around 5,000 pieces of 8 per hour, with an additional 100,000 firemaking experience per hour. And now for the rewards. With these newly acquired pieces of 8 in hand, the rewards you'll want to be purchasing first are interesting, but there is a reasoning behind it. You'll first want to purchase a purple hat, for it has an invisible +2 strength bonus, a gray shirt for its +4 prayer bonus, and the brown slacks provide a -1 to your weight, which is the only weight reduction available on the island. The strength and prayer bonuses do add an invisible boost to your ability to successfully light logs in future games, allowing for even more optimal gameplay. Next, you'll be wanting to purchase a medium clue scroll and complete it, as the drop rate for the Ranger's boots are increased from 1 in 1,133 to a mere 1 in 100. Additionally, the boots add a bonus to your woodcutting ability on the island, because they're both green. Lastly, you'll want to pick up the Phasmatis flag, due to its ability to reduce the number of logs needed per boiler by 1, further increasing your productivity, but not by enough that it merits getting any earlier. The item called The Stuff can be ignored entirely, as its in-game effect was removed as of the most recent update, and brews no longer have a failure chance in Keldagrim or Phasmatis. After that, if you haven't already received your Ranger boots, just keep getting those medium clues and hoping. I was fortunate enough to receive mine after only 3 games, PogChamp, but I'm sure you'll have better luck than myself. That's all for today's guide. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you learned something new. If you're interested in more guides and news on silent updates like this, be sure to subscribe and smash that bell to be notified of all future videos. I'm BAOIM, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.